This is Somerville in 1850. Development in Old Town Somerville occurred primarily between Main Street and the railroad. Note the Old, South, and Union Streets, which no longer exist. Some early street names are different from what we know today. There's no Davenport Street. Instead, the block between High and Main Streets was Washington Street. Cedar Street is today's Mountain Avenue. West End Avenue is Easton Avenue, the name of the old turnpike. Raritan, Somerset Street, goes into the neighboring village, as does the now extended railroad. Academy Street, the original name for Northbridge Street, was taken from the Somerville Academy, a private prep school located just off Main Street. Founded in 1800, it may have been the first facility to use the name Somerville. The characteristic street layout, a Y with its tail parallel to the river, was still the town's central feature, but we see more development, and the streets with an impressive number of affluent, high-style Victorian homes. As shown in this 1857 slide, Old Town Somerville was marching to the beat of progress. Peters Brook and its tributary remained the eastern and northern boundaries. The town, situated primarily between high streets and the railroad, was still bounded by outlying farms. The next three slides show Somerville's early Victorian mansions. Easton Avenue, or the Old Turnpike, now boasted many prosperous Victorian homes and businesses, showing Somerville had achieved a measure of refinement just before the Civil War. The influx of businessmen and travelers resulted in a need for accommodations. Somerville provided them. Besides the Fritz Hotel, formerly Tennyson's, two additional hotels were established, the Tonique pictured here on Main Street and the Commercial Hotel in the railroad area. Somerville entered the telecommunication age with the introduction of the telegraph. With increased prosperity and pride in its progress, Somerville sought a measure of independence from still rural Bridgewater. In 1864, a town charter was granted to the county seat. A close-up view of Civil War Somerville shows some familiar landmarks, including the Wallace House, now the Miller Farm, and the Old White Oak, dating from before the American Revolution. Lottery Field on both sides of High Street, between today's Davenport and Mercer Streets, was a failed real estate venture of John Davenport. Used at first as a public common, it eventually attracted African-American freemen and others to stake their claims to small parcels of land. The common school was built on this property. By the mid-19th century, Somerville was also a center of public education. By 1857, influenced by Joshua Doughty, Somerville organized a public school district number 3. The public grammar school was called the Common School, to distinguish it from the Somerville Academy, a private school since 1800. However, like the Academy, it enrolled only boys until about 1882. The Young Ladies Institute, a boarding school located in the West End of town by the 1850s and operated through the Civil War era.